Welcome everybody to Daytona State Baseball as we are ready for Seminole State College of Florida battling the Falcons of Daytona State. Finally, baseball on our broadcast. Great to have you with us alongside Will Dunn, Daytona State Athletic Director. I'm Drew Felios, and should be an outstanding day of baseball. The Falcons taking on Seminole State, and this is the second time these two teams have played over the last 3 days.
Yeah, Drew, it looks like a great day for college baseball, Mid-Florida Conference tilt here in Daytona Beach. These two teams played on Saturday over at Seminole. It was a really good game, close game. They had some weather issues throughout the game. Falcons ended up winning that game 3-2. But today should be an outstanding day. We got good weather here on tap, 81 degrees, partly sunny, and great day for some baseball.
Take a look at the lineup for Seminole State. The Raiders will send Jake Wright as their leadoff player here today. Brock Howard, Kobe Barnum, Kenny Rodriguez is the cleanup with Wilson, Ficus, Hurwitz, Sastry, and Trace Thornell. The shortstop batting ninth here today. And for Daytona State, a good opportunity for Zach Bryant to move up in the rotation. Zach usually the closer, but he has a chance late in the season to possibly solidify a spot in the starting rotation.
Yeah, this is, as you said, his first start of the year. He's got second on the team in innings pitched, but all those have been in relief. So while he's had a number of appearances throughout the year, this is his first start of the year, and they're pretty excited about seeing what he can do today. So it should be a good opportunity for Zach and for the Falcons to get a new look from him.
Mentioned, Will, we did have a couple rain delays on Saturday in this game in which Daytona State beat Seminole State 3-2. Had a few showers pregame here today, but we should have pretty nice weather the rest of the day.
Yeah, I think as you can see on the shot there, partly sunny and cloudy, but forecast is fairly good, so no more than probably 20-25% chance of rain. I think we'll get this in.
Couple balls dealt by Zach Bryant as Jake Wright, the redshirt freshman out of Chester, South Carolina, leads things off for Seminole State. This one's lined into left field, and it's going to drop in there for a base hit. So a good start for the Raiders with their leadoff hitter aboard.
Yeah, good clean hit for Wright there. Hit it where it was pitched. Found some grass. Got their leadoff runner on.
So that sends now Brock Howard to the plate. We'll check Jake Wright at first. Howard, also a redshirt freshman out of St. Cloud, Florida. Dealt outside.
Drew, Zach's a sophomore here, a local product from Spruce Creek High School. Had a real productive career here at Daytona and has already signed early with Jacksonville University.
Yeah, several players for Daytona State have signed to go play at the next level. And we'll talk about them throughout the broadcast. Zach throws about 88 to 92 miles per hour. He can really get it up there on a good day. And there's a nice pitch on the outside part of the plate for strike one.
He's got good velocity. Talking with Coach Tuma earlier today, not unlike most pitchers, key to his success is going to be pitching ahead.
Nice lead for Jake Wright at first, and now 2 strikes and 2 balls to Brock Howard. And this one's going to be fouled away. You mentioned Zach, a alum of Spruce Creek High School. There is tremendous high school baseball played in this area, isn't there?
Yeah, there really is, and so many of these local students are able to go on and play at the next level, you know, whether it's at junior college level or going to Division II or Division I. Just a great opportunity for a young person to continue playing in college while working on their degree in higher education.
Took a little bit off that one, and Brock Howard is down on strikes. That ball dropped off a table for the first out.
Yeah, it sure did. I think Howard thought that might have been a little high, but certainly called for a strike there for strike 3, and umpire's letting us know what the zone's going to look like today.
I like it, too.
I do, too.
Here's Kobe Barnum, first baseman. Barnum out of the Tampa area, Temple Terrace. That's a nice power swinging from that left side. Daytona State had such a great start to the season, playing tremendous baseball in the month of February. March not quite as kind to them, and now with April beginning, Coach Tuma says he feels like this team still has their best baseball in front of them. He loves what they've done at the plate and defensively in the field. It's just that pitching. Hopefully they can get their best performances here the final month of the regular season.
Yeah, I think when you look at both of these teams, Seminole is averaging 5.84 runs scored a game, and Daytona 7.69, excuse me. So I think whoever is able to manufacture the runs and get those timely hits is going to determine how the outcomes of most of these games are.
2-2 pitch to Barman. He lines it to left field, and that drops in for a base hit. So 2 hits in the first inning by this Raiders lineup, and now runners on first and second with 1 away.
Good job of hitting there, poking that ball the other way.
So that brings Kenny Rodriguez now to the plate. Mentioned Zach Bryan and his first performance as a starter here today. Obviously a big outing for this young man. Like to see him go 4, 5, maybe 6 innings, possibly, if they can get that much out of him. What do you think?
Yeah, I think they'd like to get as many innings as they can actually out of him. Obviously within whatever pitch count they're comfortable with him, but I think they'd like to get some innings out of him to be sure.
Two balls now to Kenny Rodriguez. Rodriguez, the starting center fielder for the Raiders today.
Drew, look at the power numbers for these teams, and Seminole coming into this game has hit 34 home runs on the year, compared to Daytona has hit 15. So certainly a little more adept at hitting the long ball. So I'm sure that's also in the game plan for Daytona. Let's see how they're able to maybe neutralize some of that.
Big swing that time for Rodriguez.
He's down 2 balls in the count, but he's been able to even it up.
2-2 pitch now, and a big one on the way from Zach Bryan. Check swing, and this one's foul. Mentioned, though, Zach Bryant going to Jacksonville University, one of many players signed. We're going to see Dustin Baber headed to North Carolina A&T. Also, Alan Burnsett going to Florida Southern, suit up for the Moccasins down in Lakeland. David Mayberry also headed to North Florida, and Matt Sparling as well out of the bullpen going to FAU.
Yeah, a real good group of young men that
this one's ripped into left field well, and they're going to wave the runner from second in. So Seminole State gets on the scoreboard here early, hitting well as Rodriguez has an RBI base hit.
Raiders certainly able to square a couple balls up here and get them in play, and good decision to send that runner.
Zach Wilson's turn now, the designated hitter. It's hard to believe whenever you watch this Seminole State team swing the bat that Falcons were able to hold them to only 2 runs on Saturday, and this is what KG Parkhurst does so well, the catcher for Daytona State. Will, anytime things get a little dicey, Coach Toomas says he has become outstanding, just taking control of the moment, going out, paying a visit to the pitcher, and just settling things down.
Yeah, he's a leader there, and obviously good communication between him and the coaching staff and the pitchers that are on the bump. So they certainly trust him a lot with making sure that all the communication that's in place is where it needs to be throughout the game. So that's a very important role on any team, and KG does a good job with that.
Assistant coaches Cam Juergens and Joel Sanchez as well. Trying to settle down. Zach Bryant off to a little bit of a bumpy start here in the first inning.
Yeah, got a little adversity here, and kind of see if he can settle in here and get a little more comfortable.
So big Zach Wilson now up to the plate. Good size, 6'3", and a good-looking swing on this young man. Takes the ball. Kobe Barnum on second base. Kenny Rodriguez is on first. 1 out here in the first inning. Falcons trying to get back to the dugout, and there's a strike. Just a beautiful complex here at Daytona State. Just tailor-made for baseball. Will, just you walk around this facility, and it certainly is big time.
Well, it's just certainly something that we're real proud of, and all the staff here and our facility services and our coaches that work so hard on these fields. It makes a difference.
Lined into left field. This is going to produce another run as Barnum is going to cross the plate, and Seminole State just scorching right now. That's the 4th base hit this inning, and another RBI for Zach Wilson. And Zach Bryant, starting pitcher for Daytona State, he is not trying to piece things in there. That last pitch, 88 miles per hour. Seminole State just seeing the ball really well.
Yeah, they are. And again, I think he's behind in the count. He's behind 3-1 in that last hitter. And his key's going to be working ahead in the count. If they're sitting on pitches because they're ahead in the count, it's going to be a long day.
And wearing one is Ficus. He's going to drop down to first. That's going to load him up.
Well, as bad as this looks for the Falcons, I'm sure Coach Toomas coaching them up, and you know, ground ball get them right out of this if they can get a double play or a force out and see the next batter without scoring another run.
Here's Austin Hurwitz now, the catcher. Hurwitz, a left-handed hitting catcher, as he takes a strike. You know, it's so much different to come in out of the bullpen during a game than to start. And I think maybe that's what Zach Bryant is sort of feeling right now.
Yeah, he's obviously more comfortable, and this isn't necessarily to be a surprise. That it's something that you got to get used to, and if you haven't been in that role, you're going to feel different about your surroundings and your circumstances, and you got to settle into it. He's done a really good job with this batter, working his way ahead in the count.
Austin Hurwitz swinging it for Seminole State. Zach Bryant trying to get the second out of the inning. Remember, Bryant did pitch in relief 2 days ago, so a little odd, too, that he is coming out just 2 days later, but, of course, did not pitch much. And now, as we said, hopefully he's got 4, 5, maybe 6 good innings in him today. That one just misses outside.
The thing I like about the Seminole hitters right now is they're being very patient in their at-bats.
See where Bryant tries to attack here. Outside again. Can't walk this guy because that's going to produce another run.
You're going to have a ball in play here.
Big pitch. And it's put in play to the right side, just foul. See if Zach Bryant tries to come at him with the fastball here. Infield playing in for Daytona State. And this one is going to be poked into left field as well. That left field spot has been hit at time and again. One run is in, and here comes the second. And the Raiders continue the hit parade here in Daytona.
Well, they've done a really nice job of hitting the ball where it's pitched, Drew, and working the counts so that they're in positive counts with these pitches that they're seeing from Daytona. So they've been patient, and then when they get a pitch that they like, they're hitting it right where it's pitched.
So now Joe Sastri's turn, the third baseman. Seventh batter that Zach Bryant has faced here in this first inning, and he's going to get a piece of one. This is playable in right field, and it drops right in front of Justin Rodriguez. Everybody will advance one base, and they're loaded up again with one out.
Well, once again, Seminole's doing a nice job of just passing the bat down the line with their lineup and getting quality at bats, putting balls in play, and certainly done a very, very good job here in the first inning.
So bottom of the order now, Trace Thornell for the Raiders. And this is a must-out if there ever was one.
Yeah, Daytona definitely like to see a ball hit on the ground in the infield here to see if they can get a play, force play or play at the plate. Don't need to give up any more runs right here if they can avoid it. Of course, Seminole would like all of them to score.
This one's fouled back. Trace Thornell, sophomore out of Ocala. One ball, 2 strikes to him. And a tough first inning for Zach Bryant and the Falcons. That one nearly got away, but it's going to be 2 balls, 2 strikes. Second bases loaded situation Daytona State has faced here in the first.
They just got to find a way to get an out here, Drew. The first half of their lineup, all those guys were ahead in the count against Zach, and then this second half of the lineup, he's done a good job of getting ahead in the count, but just can't put them away.
Full count, 1 out, and a 4-0 lead. Zach Bryant tries to pound that zone, and it's fouled away. Bryant continues to come in the high 80s.
I'm sure he'd just like to see an out anyway right here.
This ball's hit to the third baseman, and it's bobbled. Everybody going to be safe. Jack Nagy, usually sure-handed over there on the hot corner. That one dribbles away, and it's 5-0.
Yeah, he just beat the ball on the ground, and you're right, 9 times out of 10, Nagy makes that play, but just couldn't get the handle on it. And another run scores, and everyone's safe on the play.
Top of the order now, Jake Wright. Up at the dish again. Second time we've seen him here in this first inning. Just feel like if the Falcons get a couple outs, get to the dugout, settle down just a little bit. Not the start that Daytona State was looking for on this Monday. April Fool's Day is over. Will, what's going on here?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what the guys are feeling, and Coach Toom is probably saying the same thing. Come on, guys, get an out here, and let's try to get 2 outs and get out of this inning and get in the dugout.
1-1 pitch now, and it's high to Jake Wright. Wright had a base hit his last time up. Daytona State 20-13 on the season. 5-8 in conference play. They're 15-5 here at home. And this one's hit hard to center field, and it's going to drift and go deep, and it's going to carry out of here. A grand slam home run by Jake Wright. Unbelievable.
Well, I'm sure Coach Nicholson is glad to see that. Certainly have his leadoff spot. They've turned the lineup over, and they've been extremely productive here in the first inning. .48 pitches here already for Zach Bryant in the first inning. Definitely struggling right now.
Yeah, you say the number 48. A lot of pitches is usually around 30. 48 is way over what you want to see, and the change will be made here in the first. A tough outing for Zach Bryant, and hopefully Zach just shakes this one off. Sometimes you're just not going to have your best stuff.
Well, you just have to flush it and not let this be too prominent in your memory. And certainly adversity happens in sports. It's one of the values of these young people participating in intercollegiate athletics. They're learning lots of real life lessons, and that was a tough start for Zach, but he's a quality pitcher. Just had a difficult start and situation here today, and Seminole made him pay for it.
Now for Seminole State, the last 9 batters have reached base.
Yeah, they flipped the lineup already in the first inning here, and makes it difficult.
So it's Austin Massebo's turn at 5'11", and first thing you notice with Massebo, the arm trajectory. That is something that the coaching staff has worked on. Coach Thomas says that we're going to make him, and he has sort of embraced throwing with a lower delivery, and it offers some challenges, doesn't it?
Yeah, give yourself some different ball movement on that arm slot angle, and they say he's been real consistent and working and improving that, and so we'll see what this different look will do for Daytona to maybe help them get out of this inning and get in the dugout.
So Austin Massebo, the sophomore, getting the ball a lot earlier than he probably wanted to in the top of the first. And his first batter will be Brock Howard, who takes one low and away for ball 1. Jake Wright is aboard. Rather, Jake Wright in the dugout after hitting a grand slam home run. And, you know, the one thing that you have to wonder, Will, just looking up at that board, a 9-0 spot for Daytona State. That is not a spot that they are in very often.
No, and, you know, when we were talking about earlier in the Open that Seminole's averaging 5.84 runs a game, and they've got 9 runs here in the first inning. They're not used to that, and Daytona's not used to being down 9-0 either. So I think these Falcons are made of the right stuff. They're not going to quit. They're not going to go away. They'll scrap and fight to the end of this game. But that is a significant hole that they find themselves in at this point.
Brock Howard base hit into center field. Now Kobe Barnum comes to the plate. So Falcons not off to the best start pitching, but I'll tell you what, just the way these Raiders have, just as you said, Will, been patient. They're seeing the ball, getting great swings on it. That's been very impressive.
Yeah, they've definitely got a plan that they're working, and they're all sticking with it. You don't see any hurried swings or swinging at bad pitches at this point in the game. A very disciplined approach, and it's paid off for them.
Kobe Barnum had a base hit his last time up, and he hits this one to the second baseman, and it's through the glove and into right field. Howard goes over to third. Now runners on the corners, and still with that one out.
The hit fest continues, Drew.
Incredible. 11 straight batters have reached base. Kenny Rodriguez again. Rodriguez had an RBI base hit his last time up.
Again, Daytona's just had a hard time, Drew, of getting ahead in the count.
Oh, that one's driven to left field. Got a little bit of carry on it, but it'll die right there. And the tag up is on. So the 10th run across the plate. Brock Howard scores. And it's 10-0 with 2 away. But, you know, in a situation like that, as tough as it is to say, well, you probably want to trade the run for the out.
Well, at this point, they just want to get 3 outs. I think they would have preferred to get it without giving up that run, but they're just gonna have to move forward and chip away the rest of this game.
So call it a sacrifice fly for Rodriguez as Wilson fouls that one away. Saw Nagy chasing that down. He is all hustle, isn't he? Jack Nagy, the third baseman for Daytona State.
Definitely plays hard and just loves playing the game, and one of those youngsters that Coach Tuma loves in his lineup every day, and went all out, try to make that play. Just a little out of reach there.
So runner at first, that's Kobe Barnum. Zach Wilson, the hitter, 2 away. And another one fouled back. 2 strikes now with 1 ball to Zach Wilson. If you're just joining us, that's not a misprint up on the top left-hand corner of your screen. It is 10-0. The Raiders with an offensive onslaught here in the first inning.
I'd venture to say, Drew, that this is the best half inning Seminoles had offensively this entire year.
Oh, yeah.
You don't get many of these on either side, so this is something that mentally the Falcons are going to have to work through for the rest of this game.
This is hit high. The right fielder, Justin Rodriguez, drifting back. He's at the wall, and it's off the scoreboard.
Boy, he just went down and got that, Drew. Golfed it right out.
A 2-run shot for Zach Wilson off a 73-mile-an-hour fastball from Austin Massabo.
Really difficult start here for the Falcons.
And this is hit hard into right field. So on a day where Coach Toma thought that perhaps he'd find some answers to his pitching staff and getting that number 2 and number 3 guy finalized, or at least getting a better idea, at least from the start, still early in this game, but few answers have been provided thus far.
Yeah, I just think it's been a struggle from the first pitch for the staff, and just in a very unusual spot. They don't see this very often. I'm sure this hasn't happened all year like this.
Hurwitz takes one downstairs for ball 2, 2-1. Hurwitz bounces one, and Lovelace's going to come pick it up just foul.
2-2 here, Drew. Let's see if we can find a way to get that third out of the inning. Might say elusive third out.
The 16th Seminole State Raider that has come to the plate. Austin Hurwitz. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And this is going to be hit into right field again. They are working the opposite ends of the field here in this first inning. Another base hit. The hit parade rolls on, and the first half of this first inning has taken a half hour. Amazing. I've never seen an offensive display to start a game quite like this.
Yeah, and Drew, really outside of the 2 balls that have been hit out of the ballpark, you don't see Seminole trying to do too much with the pitches. They're just going down and hitting them where they're pitched and getting them in play. And so some masterful hitting by the Raiders hitters here in this first inning, top of the first, and he said 16 batters have come to the plate, and we're on our 3rd pitcher in the first inning.
This is going to be Austin Dreer's turn now, the redshirt freshman. So the lefty will come into the game. Let's see how Seminole State responds to a left-hander dealing to him. 3.82 ERA, and he's pitched 33 innings this season.
It's an opportunity for any of the pitchers that Coach Tuma goes to the rest of the game here just to come in and settle into the game, work the counts, try to get outs, and get some work in.
Coach, I think we found my new job. Yeah. No. Yeah. Velo.
Well, so far we've seen 2 home runs in this game. One a grand slam by Jake Wright. The second home run, a 2-run shot by Zach Wilson. So just off of the home runs, 6 RBIs have come across the plate. 6 of those 12 runs for Seminole State.
Yep. And again, outside of the 2 long balls, just some really solid fundamental hitting by the Raiders, hitting balls where they're pitched and not doing too much with them, but getting them on the green and keep passing the bat down the lineup and advancing runners on the bases.
Joe Sastry in the 8-hole for the Raiders and takes one right down the plate for strike one.
Good job there, getting ahead in the count.
Yeah, kind of puts an exclamation on the job that Kyler Adams did with the Seminole State lineup on Saturday. The fact that he held them to only 2 runs and 2 different rain delays. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, it really was. The field conditions were a bit messy in that game. But, you know, that can lead to a lot of unclean play in your infield and outfield, but that wasn't the case.
2-1 to Sastry, missing high, now 3-1. Daytona State just trying to get to the dugout and have their first at-bat here on this Monday, April 2nd. Not going to get it yet. So that's the first walk issued. And it puts runners now on first and second. Actually,
yeah,
the bases loaded once again.
Yeah, haven't seen a lot of walks. Had that one hit by pitch, but it's been a hit train.
And it's going to be hit high into center field. It is playable out there, and making the catch is Trey Thigpen to finally get Daytona State out of the inning. But it certainly was not easy for the Falcons. 12 runs come across the plate for Seminole State. Falcons have a lot of work to do, to say the least, and they'll get to work when we come back to Daytona State Falcons baseball. Welcome back to Daytona Beach. A little bit of a cloudy day here at the complex, Daytona State College. Alongside Will Dunn, I'm Drew Felios. Finally, Daytona State gonna get a chance to come to the plate. And Jack Nagy will be the leadoff batter for the Falcons. Trent Taylor will hit second, followed by David Mayberry. Batting third, Alan Burnstead, the sophomore, will clean up. Dustin Baber, KG Parkhurst, Justin Rodriguez, JC Lovelace also in the lineup. Lovelace will hit seventh, Rodriguez eighth, and Trey Thigpen down at the bottom of the order for the Falcons. And pitching today is Ethan Kohler on the bump for Seminole State. And look up at the scoreboard, an amazing 12 hits, 12 runs, an offensive onslaught to really savor if you are a Seminole State Raiders fan. And if you're Daytona State now, you're certainly not going to get all this back in one swing.
No, you're really not, Drew. You're gonna have to be consistent and find a way to just string some hits together over the course of the game and get a couple runs at a time if you can try to get back into this game.
Coach Tuma hoping his team can show some signs of life here in the bottom of the second. Of the first, rather. Daytona State did beat this Seminole State team a couple days ago. Shown they can do it. Steep hill to climb, though, here in the bottom of the first. And this is going to be lined into center field. And a good start. It's going to dribble to the wall. Nagy wants a triple. Why not when you trail by 12? And he is in there to start the game. Jack Nagy trying to get things rolling and light a spark in the Falcons.
Well, a really, really good start offensively for Daytona. Good hit to right center, got all the way to the fence. Nagy was able to leg it out to third. Leadoff triple.
That is Jack Nagy's game.
Yeah, he's one of the speed guys. I tell you, this 12-run lead, Drew, is changed probably the whole plan in terms of how Daytona might work through the lineup and score runs. You down 12 runs, you really don't have any outs to give up in terms of moving runners or...
Now, I was just about to say, too, Trent Taylor, known for being the best bunter on the team. I'm not sure if he's going to get any opportunities today, trailing by 12. And sure enough, he squares around and looked like he was trying to get a piece of that.
Well, if he's bunting for a hit at this point. He's not trying to sacrifice.
This one going to be popped up. It's going to drift into right field. Jake Wright there to make the grab. And the runner will stay at third base. So Nagy will hold up, and there's one away.
I think that's where I'd love to have that pitch back and try to hit middle top of that ball. Keep it out of the air. Try to hit it through the infielder to the right side and maybe advance that runner to score.
David Mayberry's turn now. Sophomore hits it right up the middle. Great contact, and the first run of the game is in for the Falcons. Nagy and sliding. I love his game. It's 12-1.
Yeah, Mayberry did a nice job there. Again, didn't try to do too much with it. Hit it where it's pitched, right back up the middle. Get the first run of the game in for the Falcons. It's a good answer after that start on the other half of the inning.
Alan Birdsed comes up now for the Falcons. And he checks swings and takes it ball one. Birdsed, one of those Falcon signees headed to Florida Southern next season. He is the heart and soul of this Daytona State offense.
Yeah, he is, and he's going to be playing on a really good Mocs team over there in Lakeland. That real tough Sunshine State Conference Division II program. So a good opportunity for him to move on to that next level and finish up his college career. Be a good chance for him.
Birdsed is the son of a coach. His father, high school coach at Middleburg. So very technically sound and really acts and plays like he's been around the game a long time.
Yeah, I think he's been at the ballpark since he was knee-high. Seen a lot more games than he's played at this point, and he's played in a lot of them.
Last year played a lot in the outfield. This year playing mainly at first base. 3 balls, 1 strike to Burnset. This one popped up, and now 3-2. So you said how it changes the game plan, Will. Now at this point, every single guy that comes up to the plate, just find a way to get on base, right? And just try and create as many multi-run situations as possible.
Well, I think Seminole had the script for that in the top half of the inning.
And a walk issued to Burnset. So first and second now, and this is one of those opportunities for the Falcons.
Just looking for quality at bats. See if you can get the pitch count up on Seminole State's pitcher, make him work to get outs, and hopefully pass the bat down on the bottom half of the inning for the Falcons and just get some runners on and try to get some balls through the infield.
Here's Dustin Baber. He'll take a strike. Baber has had tremendous growth from last year to this year. Really developed into a consistent performer out of the 5-hole.
Yeah, Drew's hitting .305 on the year and has a .382 on base percentage. So he's been pretty effective for Coach Tuma and his team.
Dustin Baber, really a guy also that just loves to play defense, loves to take the field, and sometimes can be rare quality in a baseball player. At shortstop, though, Coach Tuma says he'll take hundreds of ground balls like it is nothing. Just loves it.
Yeah, that's what you like to see in a coach, and that's where you really see these players make strides and progress with their game. He's doing a good job here, though. That, ball's called for a strike there, but probably not one you want to swing at, and a plus count and you're at bat. So he's making him throw him some pitches. He can find a way to get a ball in play.
2-2 pitch now from Ethan Kohler to Dustin Baber. And Baber is down on strikes. Swung away, had a good-looking swing, but the ball was in the mitt.
Yep, really good pitch. Got it past him for the strikeout.
KG Parkhurst now with 2 down. KG, the redshirt freshman, took time last year to just get right, get physically ready for college baseball. Coach Tuma said this young man just worked like crazy to become the starting catcher, to kind of move into that leadership role, and that's what he's done here. A good opportunity and some RBIs if he can get a piece.
Yeah, he's done a really good job of settling into his role on the team, Drew, and coming in this game hitting .282 and a .351 on base percentage, so he's been pretty consistent. Real gritty player.
Got some power at the plate as well, hitting .282. Coach Tuma hoping for some runs here in the first at-bat for the Falcons. Oh, tough pitch right there, and strike 2, 2-2.
Really nice movement on that pitch. Just throwing it real nice on the outside edge. Seen a couple times now where Daytona State hitters have swung through that pitch.
Outside, got him swinging. So a couple strikeouts to end the threat from Daytona State. We have played 1 here in Daytona Beach, and a 12-1 score. Seminole State had an explosive first inning. They try and add to that when we come back. Top of the second inning here at Daytona State College. Great to have you with us, everybody. With Will Dunn, I'm Drew Felios. And not the start that the Falcons were hoping for. 12-1 out of the gates. And it's amazing. It seemed like we were in that first inning forever, Will.
It really did. Kind of looked at our clock between innings, and it was a 48-minute first inning. So it was a marathon. But maybe if we can settle in here, we can get through some of these innings. I was going to mention, Drew, that this is the first year that we've used the national speed-up rule for baseball. So if a team's up 10 runs after 5 innings or 8 runs after 7 innings, that would be a complete game.
Hit hard to the right side, right at J.C. Lovelace as he makes the play. Good job by J.C. The freshman.
And it's amazing how momentum swings in these games, and you know, Daytona couldn't buy out in the top half of that inning, and then that ball was just hit pretty well, but right at Daytona's first baseman. So let's see if Daytona can settle in here a little bit.
Here's Brock Howard, struck out his first time up, then a base hit his second time up. Gets a good swing on that one. Trey Thigpen should be under it for Daytona State, and there's a quick 2 away here in the second. Good to just see a couple outs come with not many pitches in between.
Yeah, I think that's about 6 pitches and 2 outs. Much quicker than the top of the first, Drew.
Here's Kobe Barnum. Couple base hits today. He's 2 for 2. And he's 3 for 3. That one probably going to be ruled as a hit. We'll see it, though, on the replay and see how playable it was, as it was tough for Baber to handle it.
I think it's going to be a hit. Even if he gets to that ball, I'm not sure he can get the play and get an out.
Ball was hit extremely hard. Kenny Rodriguez pops it up. Rodriguez with an RBI base hit and a sac fly, so he's got 2 RBIs today. I believe Rodriguez, his first at bat, he was hitting from the left side and switches over to the right here.
It's a good skill set to have in your lineup, Drew.
Yeah, certainly. Tough one to handle, though, there. And a good second inning for Austin Dreer. So Daytona State has a quickie. Seminole State strands 1. Bottom of the second. Here we come from Daytona Beach in just a moment. Welcome back to Daytona State College. 12-1 the score, 13 hits for Seminole State. And they have only had 6 outs to play with. Amazing the offensive production they have been able to muster up to this point. Ethan Kohler working on the mound. And Daytona State up with their second chance at bat. J.C. Lovelace leading things off. J.C. just a freshman. .333 average for this young man. Good eye. Watches it outside 2-0.
Drew Kohler's got some really good stuff. Seminoles pitcher, and he hit some nice 2 strikeouts there to end the bottom half of the first inning. But you notice in the start of that inning as well, he was high with his pitches, and first 2 pitches here to Lovelace, he throws high, and I think they've probably picked out something mechanically he's doing, have a quick chat with him to get the ball more in the zone.
Two 2-0 to Lovelace, and he watches a strike, so 1-2. And 1 now to J.C. Lovelace. Trey Thigpen is on deck for Daytona State. Then the top of the order with Jack Nagy. Oh, nice pitch there on the inside part of the plate and a full count.
Really good pitch. Right on the inside edge for a strike.
Well, you said it, Will. Ethan Kohler's got some really good-looking stuff. And there's another example right there.
Yeah, he's got really good ball movement, and good velocity. Like I said, I think the coaches saw something mechanical with his first couple pitches and just gave him a cue or two, and it's right back where he needed to be with his pitches.
Justin Rodriguez, his first at-bat for Daytona State. Just over 300. Justin's one of these kids that actually came out of the Falcons developmental program, sort of like the JV team for Daytona State baseball, and it has been very effective producing kids that perhaps aren't quite ready for the big show just yet.
Yeah, he spent a year in that program, and he's just so athletic, and his skills are still raw and has a lot of work to do, but he's a extremely hard worker, very coachable young man, and the coaches really love working with him, so his growth is unlimited, I would say.
Out of Long Island, New York, St. Dominic High School, as he sends this one into center field, and making the catch is Kenny Rodriguez for the second out. You can see just the bat speed, and that's why Justin Rodriguez, whenever you talk about Daytona State players that could have that potential, Will, to one day play on a major league field, he is certainly one of them. Justin Rodriguez.
Coach Tuma and his staff's real high on him. Like I said, his potential and growth for being a real high level player is unlimited, and just brings his lunchbox every day and works hard, and they enjoy him being around and having the opportunity to see that growth. Trey Thigpen here, hitting in the 9-hole today.
Thigpen, the center fielder. Another Spruce Creek high school product. Had a chance to call a couple state championships that Spruce Creek was playing in. Just a great high school program. And there's certain guys, when you're a college coach, Will, you get a certain kid out of a certain program, and you know what you're getting based on the coach that he's playing for.
Yeah, really is. And over the years, we've had some really talented student athletes come out of that program. Of course, there are many of them in that IB program, and good, solid academic student athletes, and Trey's certainly one of those.
Trey's been the starting center fielder the whole season. Tremendous defensively in the outfield. And a .325 average as he gets around on that one and fouls it to the left side for strike 2. Daytona State needs base runners. Thigpen can turn over the lineup here. Jack Nagy will be on deck for the Falcons. Nagy with a triple his last time up. Not going to happen, though. Another good pitch from Ethan Kohler, who is getting better as this game has gone along. The big lefty for Seminole State, impressive. His team leading 12-1 as we head to the third here in Daytona Beach. Welcome back to Daytona State College. 12-1 your score. Raiders with 13 hits so far, with a sizable lead on Daytona State. Upcoming matchups for the Falcons. They've got 2 against Santa Fe lurking. And then Florida State College of Jacksonville before taking on St. John's River State, and Seminole State once again at the end of the month. It's amazing how fast the baseball season goes. Every single spring, but certainly our favorite time of year.
True, it really is. You know, you kind of labor all year getting to February to get that season started, and then, you know, here we are the first part of April, and for college ball, it's going to end pretty soon. Get into May and it's over.
Zach Wilson leading it off for Seminole State. I say our favorite time of year, though. Do not want to slight, though, Will, the fall and the great soccer programs that we have here on campus. And just, again, tremendous fall for both teams playing in the brand new soccer complex.
Yes, it really was. Both the ladies and the guys program, just both of them had really, really quality years, and advanced to play-in games in the postseason. Just real competitive teams, and both of them were just an eyelash away to moving on to play-in games for the national tournament. So real promising teams there.
Hit hard to center field, and it's going to be a tough play out there, but drifting over to make the catch is Trey Thigpen. Yeah, that soccer stadium looking so nicely. You see it over there off the left side of the baseball field. Made its grand opening, had the big ribbon cutting late last year, Will, and opposing teams have come in and they play on this thing, on this pitch, and our team as well for the Falcons. And every day, there's just a huge wow factor, isn't there?
Yeah, it's just such a nice facility. And this weekend, Saturday, we had some soccer scrimmages with our women's program. Had a morning scrimmage against Rollins College, and then in the afternoon they played Florida Tech. So just a lot of good things that the soccer program has added to our sports offerings and for the student athletes here at the college.
Another ball hit hard to left field. Burnside coming in to make the grab, and there's 2 down. Also a solid basketball year as well on the men's and women's side. Had a chance to broadcast a couple of those games here on WDSC TV and the Falcon Athletic Network.
Yeah, Janice Brim and her Lady Falcons were really competitive this year. They actually ended up capturing the Mid-Florida Conference Championship and advancing to the state tournament over in Ocala at the College of Central Florida. And guys had a strong year. Weren't able to qualify for the state tournament, but I certainly look for that to turn around as we move forward.
You know, I love the way that Austin Dreer, the pace that he is working at right now for Daytona State. There is no nonsense. He is establishing a very quick rhythm, and he's got the batters for Seminole State a little bit off balance here.
Yeah, I like that pace too, and he's feeling confident with it, and just wants to get the ball and throw the next pitch.
And there you go. So Austin Dreer has, at the moment, calmed what were the red-hot bats of the Raiders. We're through 2.5 here in Daytona Beach, and Daytona State still trying to climb that steep hill, down 11 runs. Twelve to 1 the score here at Daytona State College, and we're so happy to have you along for the ride with Will Dunn. I'm Drew Felios. We go to the bottom of the third. Falcons with only 2 hits today. Ethan Kohler doing a stellar job for Seminole State, trying to keep the bats of the Falcons at bay. But now top of the order, and second time through, Jack Nagy leading it off as he takes one just high for ball 1. Nagy had a triple and really tried to spark his team last time up. He represents the only run of the game scored so far by Daytona State. Talked about a lot today throughout this game. The first inning took nearly 1 hour, took 48 minutes to be exact to play. So we've touched on a lot of topics, but Will, the GPA of this Daytona State team, tremendous, a 3.82 cumulative GPA during the fall semester. I cannot put that on hold any longer.
Yeah, Drew, Coach Tuma and the staff, they really focus on that. Every player on the team had a 3.5 or higher grade point average, and 15 of the players had 4.0 grade point averages. So it's a focus every year with Coach Tuma and his team. 9 out of the last 10 years, his baseball team has had the highest grade point average in the nation for a junior college baseball program. So certainly one of the major components of the program with Coach Tuma and these young men.
Takes one low. Trent Taylor now, his second at-bat for Daytona State. Coach Tuma, too, he does a great job, but also got to mention, how about Cindy Infante, the academic advisor, working to get these kids with Coach Tuma the classes they need, overseeing, making sure they're doing the right things in and out of the classroom. And, of course, got to credit the players as well. They come here to Daytona State knowing they're going to be more than just athletes, and they certainly execute that.
Yeah, Cindy works with these young men really from the time before they get here. Once they've signed or committed to being here, she's working with them on, you know, how they did in high school and what they want to major in and getting class schedules together. And certainly...
Caught at second base is going to be Nagy. Tried to steal a little bit late that time, and there's one away now after the failed steal attempt.
A little delay steal there. And Seminole made a good play on that. But back to the academics, Drew, I think that's just, you know, one of the cornerstones of the program that we have in athletics, and certainly Coach Tuma's had with his baseball program for many years. And these young men come through here and do well academically and move on. Many of them go on to play baseball at the Division II, Division I level, and some of them don't because they're going on to major in engineering or law school or whatever it is, and that's okay too. They do well.
David Mayberry, an RBI base hit his last time up. Trent Taylor was hit by a pitch in that last at-bat for the Falcons, so Taylor on first base, and now Mayberry at the dish. Yeah, you mentioned, you know, players going off to that next level. Will some of them may not even go on and play baseball. They'll just continue on being college students elsewhere. And, you know, the role of somebody like Allison Moore is huge too, isn't it, throughout this program?
Yeah, both Cindy and Allison, you know, a big aspect of what they do, among many things in our department, is working with all of our student athletes and their academic schedules, and, you know, if they need tutors, getting them lined up with faculty and learning specialists over in our academic support center. All of the support and resources that are necessary for these students to be successful academically are here, and it's just aligning them with those resources that are needed so that they can move on, and in this case with the baseball program, at an extremely high level academically while they're with us.
2-1 to David Mayberry, and the bat flies out of his hands as he takes a swing at that one. It'll be 2-2 now.
Not sure what happened there, but the bat came right out of David's hand and back to the backstop.
David had to chase this bat down after it flew out of his hands. There it was.
He needs some pine tar on that.
I was about to say.
I don't know if that's legal, but something to keep the bat in his hand.
North Florida signee David Mayberry takes one high, and a full count coming up. He had a fabulous freshman season, did Mayberry, but then got hurt his back during summer ball, and that kept him out all of the fall. He had to sort of rehab, and the doctor said don't do any activity. So it was kind of tough on young David trying to overcome that injury, but he eventually did. And here he is on base for the second time today.
Yeah, baseball was out of the equation for him in the fall, but certainly spent the time and did what he needed to do to rehab and get healthy and be a contributing member of this team this spring. And I certainly know that his teammates and the coaches are glad to have him. He's very talented and really good offensive hitter.
Alan Burnsett now walked his last time up. The Florida Southern signee for Daytona State. So one headed to North Florida, the 3-hole, and then Burnsett going to Lakeland. Both sophomores taking one outside. And, you know, over the last few minutes, Ethan Kohler looked a little bit shaky. I think the Falcons maybe getting to him just a little bit.
I think if there's any chink in his armor, it's just his control a bit. When he's in the zone, boy, he is tough to handle. But he's worked some counts in the Falcons' favor a few times, and but he's a battler. That's where Coach Tooma's telling the guys, let's swing at strikes. Let's make the ball be in the zone.
Runners on first and second. Good opportunity for Daytona State to put some more runs on the board here in the third. And the taken outside. Seminole State with a 12 spot in the first inning off 12 hits. Daytona State just trying to get back to within striking range. Going to take a lot of work. 2-1 now to Burnset. Pops this one up. Drifting to the right side. Should be out of play, and it is.
Well, Drew, you referenced it's going to take a lot of work to get back in this game, but the way the Falcons players are going to have to look at this is they're going to have to do it one pitch, one at bat at a time. You're not going to get 12 runs in one at bat or two at bats or three at bats. So they need to find a way just to get base runners on and pass the bat down the lineup and hopefully score some runs before they run out of outs.
Two-two to Burnset. Dustin Baber on deck, and he'll watch another one. All of a sudden, Daytona State being very selective also at the plate.
Got to swing at balls in the zone, and even at that with Kohler, he's able to match you and get a ball past you. So, got to make him be in the zone, then try to get to the ball.
Quick swing that time by Burnset, and still 3-2. Nice crowd on hand here at Daytona State College. Another piece of this one, and this one will drift out of play as well. There you see the baseball complex. Nice center field wall there, beautiful scoreboard in right.
Yeah, it's really a nice layout, Drew. As I mentioned in the open, the facility services staff here at the college and the coaches do a really nice job of making sure everything's buttoned up and where it needs to be with this facility on a daily basis. It's a gorgeous looking facility, but that doesn't just happen. It takes a lot of work on the part of a lot of people to make it look the way it does on game day, and real proud of everyone that's involved in that.
Second time Burnset has been walked today, so he's been on base twice, and now Dustin Baber is going to come to the plate for the Falcons. No, I think someone else is going to hit. This is going to be Anthony Perino, as we're going to have our first substitution of the game. So Anthony Perino, this is a freshman out of Locust Valley, New York, will get his first at-bat. How about Coach Tooma going to his bench here in the third to try and get a spark in a key situation?
Well, obviously, Coach knows his personnel, and
this one hit to left field. Ficus back to make the grab, and the runner will tag up. Trent Taylor will score the second run of the game for Daytona State, and it's 12-2.
he was wanting a ball in the outfield, and that's what he got. So, as you mentioned earlier, trading out for a run.
Another pinch hitter going to come up for the Falcons. This is Dawson Posick, who is a reserve catcher and a freshman from New Smyrna Beach High School.
Local product here in Volusia County.
So some good chances here for the youngsters to contribute as Dawson takes strike one. Ethan Kohler trying to get out of another jam, and there's a good looking pitch. Didn't look like Dawson wanted to swing at that, but he goes around for strike two. And approaching 70 pitches is Ethan Kohler now.
Yeah, he's been pretty efficient with his pitch count. I think that would probably be the one thing Coach Nicholson would like to maybe see improve with his game. But these guys are so young and so much potential and ahead of them. This is where they're learning those skills. Kohler's stuff is really good.
Good looking slider, good fastball. Ball has great movement on it. Dawson Posick, only a freshman, 6 feet tall, 215 pounds though, big kid. See if he can get a piece of one here. Lays off that one, good eye for ball two.
Well, again, find that pitch in the zone that you can have your best chance to do something with. Not try to do too much.
Mayberry on second, Burnset on first. And a good pitch there. It's going to sit down Posick and get Seminole State out of this third inning jam. So Ethan Kohler comes up with the big pitches when he needs them. And the Raiders lead by 10, 12-2. Let's go to the fourth inning. Thanks for joining us this afternoon on the Falcon Athletic Network. Daytona State College on a baseball Monday. Drew Felios with Will Dunn. And we are going to see the fourth pitcher of this game for Daytona State. We'll introduce you to him in just a moment. Until then, we want to tell you about our next broadcast coming up. That's Wednesday, April 18th, as St. John's River State comes here to Daytona Beach. 1 o'clock start on a Wednesday. And kind of like these day games, Will. Pretty nice, huh?
Yeah, it's good, and again, we've had some pretty good weather as of recent, so getting a great day for fans to come out to the ballpark, enjoy a game, or if they're not able to, tune in and catch it on the Falcon Athletic Network.
Joe Sastry standing in now for Seminole State. He's got a base hit to right field and a walk today, so he's been on base a couple times. Jack Gallo, 6'3", only a freshman out of Melbourne, hurling now for the Falcons. O'Galley High School And this is one of those big right-handers that if he can register a couple good innings here, maybe another guy who can sort of vie for that number 2 and number 3 spot.
Yeah, young freshman, certainly got tools and an opportunity here to come in and get some meaningful innings in a Mid-Florida Conference tilt.
Play made by Lovelace over there on the right side. There's one away.
Good chance to build your resume as a young pitcher, Drew.
And I can tell by the mentality. I think that's the mentality you want. You trail by 10. Trace Thornell coming up. If you are Jack Gallo, well, just get up there and just pound that zone, right?
Pound it. Let your defense work behind you. Not try to do too much and make sure you work ahead in the count. It's a good opportunity for a young pitcher to get out there and make some positive things happen for himself and for the team.
Trace Thornell, sophomore out of Ocala. Third base and second base. He's played this year for Seminole State. Right now, though, the starting shortstop here today is second batter Jack Gallo has faced. 2-2. Outside of that 12-run first inning, Raiders bats have been fairly silent over the last 2. I better watch what I say, though, because they could ignite just like that. You never know with these guys.
Yeah, that first inning was a venture trying to get an out.
That was like a long trip to the dentist's office.
Yeah, not a lot of fun for the Falcons.
And a walk issued this time to Thornell.
Yeah, I think for Gallo, they just like to see him work ahead in the count, Drew, and find a way to get these Raiders hitters to swing through some pitches or get a ball on the ground, let the defense work behind you, get a couple outs here.
So this is Freddie Torres now, who was subbed into the game for Jake Wright. This is the second at-bat for Freddie. Both coaches able to shuffle their lineups just a bit so far. That one going to get by Parkhurst, and Thornell's going to advance to second.
I think the runner was moving on that pitch, and KG just tried to get the ball. It was a little bit away from him, but to make a play and kind of crossed up a little bit.
Gallo comes after him. This one going to be fouled to third. Jack Nagy over there at third base. Brock Howard is on deck for Seminole State. Torres watches this one high, and a full count coming up now. It's making good pitches, too, in key situations. Falcons certainly struggled with that in that first inning, didn't they?
Yeah. It's really an area that you learn as a young pitcher on how to make those quality pitches in certain situations. And then conversely, offensively, you know, you're trying to work the count and find a way to get a quality bat and get a ball in play to make something happen offensively. So seeing a lot of of these young players trying to work through that on both sides of the plate.
See Coach Juergens, Coach Sanchez also assisting Tim Tuma. They do not want this deficit to get any more than 10 runs. I think they're just trying to tell Jack, hey, right now, just don't try and be a miracle worker. Just do your thing and let your defense play.
Yep. Again, work ahead in the count. Don't get behind in the count where they're in hitters' counts, and hopefully they can get a ball either on the ground or in the air that we can make a play on defensively. Probably what Coach Juergens is talking about out there.
Fourth at bat for Brock Howard. This one's foul. Seminole State, known a lot for playing small ball. Has not been the case today. Seen 2 big home runs. One a 2-run shot, the other a grand slam. We've seen power and precision at the plate. Daytona State trying to deal with it here and continue to try and chip away. This is going to be hit into left field, and another run coming in for the Raiders.
That's how that's supposed to be.
Drew, another good job of just hitting that ball where it's pitched. Not trying to do too much with it and allowing Seminole to advance their base runners.
And now the biggest stick at the plate. This Kobe Barnum in the 3-hole. Should get a look at Howard at first. Barnum has not been out today. 3 base hits. He has been devastating to deal with. Ball gets away. Gallo's not going to have a chance at this one. So the Raiders able to get 2 more, and it's 14-2. So right now, if you're Daytona State, well, it's hard giving away these runs because now the possibility of having a 5-inning game looms even more.
Yeah, if we get to the 5th inning with Seminole with a 10-run or more lead, then that'll be the shortened game rule that's in effect this year.
You like that rule?
Well, I think in a lot of ways, probably for, roster management and especially a pitching staff, the students, the players that say, let's play this thing out. We can get 10 or 12 runs and win this game. And not that you can't, but probably the odds are that it's not going to happen. So, teams are certainly whittling away their pitching staff for both schools, using the arms and making the week longer than it's already going to be. So I think for the health of the students, it's a good rule. I think probably for the baseball purist that's a traditional baseball guy, they're not going to like that rule because they want to play the games out.
Lovelace making the play at first, stepping on first. The first time Barnum has been retired today, and there's 2 out here in the 4th. And that was a big out for Daytona State to retire the top offensive threat. And now Kenny Rodriguez coming to the dish with 2 down. I think it certainly helps out pitching staffs being able to abbreviate a game, but I guarantee you the players, especially the teams down, want to play a game out if they are trailing. And we've seen a lot of crazy things happen in baseball at the major league level. Of course, you see it all the time where a team can get down big but then come back and win games.
And I think the strategy, speaking of the game with the coaches, like, Daytona's coaches are, the rule's the rule. So you know, if Daytona can get out of this, the challenge is going to be, hey, in the next 2 innings, we got to get at least 3 runs to keep playing and not give up another run. So that's kind of the game within the game, if you will, as it relates to that run rule.
Kenny Rodriguez, an impressive day at the plate for him. A sacrifice fly and an RBI base hit. To his credit, takes a big swing at this one, but was able to get a piece of it. And there's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Big at bat here is Jack Gallo trying to get his team back to the dugout without allowing any further damage. Gallo, the 4th pitcher we've seen today for the Falcons. That one is going to be hit to left field. Burnstead is under it, and retired is Rodriguez. As Seminole State gets 2 on the board, but they're done in the 4th. So the count 14-2. Falcons coming up when we return to the Falcon Athletic Network. Welcome back to Daytona State College. Tim Tuma in his 16th season as the head baseball coach here at Daytona State. Spent a lot of time as an assistant coach at University of Florida and Oklahoma State before coming here to Falcons country. And he's a guy who just knows what the path is like as a baseball player to get to the big time. Went to Lake Worth High School, then Palm Beach Community College, before going to the University of Florida and becoming an all-SEC academic performer. First play made there, as retired as J.C. Lovelace for the first out. But Coach Tuma, just an outstanding coach, and Will, just a great guy to go with it.
Yeah, he's a great leader of young people. He understands the life and process of a student athlete. As you mentioned there, he went the junior college route playing at Palm Beach State before going on to the University of Florida. He's been to a couple College World Series at the NCAA Division I level with both Florida and Oklahoma State. And so, you know, he's been in this business a long time, and I think you kind of see coaches as professionals grow over time and kind of put their stamp and their brand on a program, and he's certainly done that. He's won 4 Mid-Florida Conference championships in his tenure here, been Coach of the Year, but also hangs his hat on the academics, and his 10 times his teams have been the National Academic Team of the Year. So certainly preparing these young men for life after baseball and after college, and getting to a good place in life where they're going to be successful in whatever it is they choose to do. And baseball was a part of that for them while they were going through college. So I think he's done a great job at all of his stops along the way, and certainly his 16 years here in Daytona.
Meanwhile, new pitcher working for Seminole State. And that is Brady Martello on the mound. And he's retired the first 2 batters he has faced. Nick Zipf. Now his first at-bat is, there you take a look at Brady, another lefty, not quite as tall as Kohler, but another good-looking arm, and already he is ahead of the count. So there's the byline on Martello, and now 1-2 to Nick Zipf. Young man out of Palm Coast, went to Flagler Palm Coast High School, trying to get on base here for Daytona State, trailing by 12. They have been climbing uphill since the start after giving up 12 runs in the first inning. And they were 12 earned runs as Seminole State has a quick 4th inning, just what they needed. And a good start for the young lefty Brady Martello. So we've played 4 here in Daytona Beach, and so far it's been all Seminole State. Go to the 5th when we come back. Welcome back to Daytona State College. Is this ball going to be popped up and taken care of? Second baseman makes the play, Trent Taylor. And 1 pitch, 1 out, as Zach Wilson is retired here in the 5th. Jack Gallo working for Daytona State, as we have seen 4 different pitchers for the Falcons today. This game did not go as Tim Tuma would have scripted it, and that is an understatement, as Nagy has one hit right at him. 2 pitches, 2 outs here in the 5th, and if only the sequence you've seen over the last 2 pitches could have gone this easily, Will, in the first inning, we'd be all fine and grand right now, wouldn't we?
Well, I think they say that's the game of baseball.
It is.
You just don't know what's going to happen, and but in this instance here in the top of the 5th, 2 quality pitches by Gallo, 2 outs. Can't get more efficient than that.
Tell you what, when Gallo's working, when he's got that rhythm, definitely impressive to watch.
He's got a lot of talent and bright future.
Austin Hurwitz, 1 ball, 2 strikes to him now. Austin Hurwitz has a 2 RBI base hit in the first, then another base hit and a strikeout, 2 for 3 today. But if you are Daytona State, well, of course, the next time you come up, you've got to have offensive production, or else this game's going to be over.
Yeah, they need to find a way to get a goose egg up there on this half inning, and then they're going to have to score 3 runs to extend the game.
Another base hit for Hurwitz. So he's 3 for 4 today. Daytona State 5-8 in conference play. Conference play has been not easy for the Falcons so far this year, in a very competitive conference. There is tremendous baseball played from top to bottom.
Yeah, there really is, and if you look at the Falcons in the Raiders. As you mentioned, the Falcons are 5-8. The Raiders come in the conference today, conference play 1-11. And both teams are 5-5 in their last 10 games. Seminoles played a couple of non-conference games between their conference schedule, and the Falcons haven't had a chance to, so those have been all conference games for the Falcons.
Joe Sastry grazed by a pitch, tried to get out of the way, but kind of heard the little flick, and oh, that barely grazed the jersey. And maybe a little bit of a
did a good job selling that.
Trace Thornell now. A little bit of an acting job that time, perhaps.
He's been coached well to get on base.
That's what you got to do. Trace Thornell's turn. Thornell gets a piece of this one to left field. Burnstead running over to make the grab for the Falcons. So a good job by Jack Gallo getting the outs, the ones that Daytona State really needed. But now the final chance. Falcons have got to have offensive production or else this game is going to be over. To the bottom of the fifth we go. 14-2 the score on WDSC TV and the Falcon Athletic Network. (14-2) your score here in Daytona Beach. The Falcons trailing Seminole State here on the Falcon Athletic Network. Drew Felios with Will Dunn. Daytona State trailing 14-2. And they got the top of the order, so good news. Jack Nagy to swing a bat. And another new pitcher. As you look at Seminole State's Grant Sandberg. Hurling now, and for Nagy, his third time at bat. He has been on base twice, a triple the first time and a walk the last time up.
Daytona's just got to get base runners at this point and have an opportunity to make something happen.
Jack Nagy out of Melbourne. This young man has been impressive today. Probably been the biggest bright spot for the Falcons in what has been sort of a tough game from the start, but came up his first at-bat, hit a triple, then scored a run. Very old school style, hustling no matter what. Pops this one up though this time, and Brock Howard got to take care of it for Seminole State. So 1 down, and now Trent Taylor going to come up for the Falcons. Trent Taylor lines one to left field. This one's going to be in the gap. So Taylor's going to make the turn, head to second base and possibly 3. No, he'll hold at second. Stand-up double for Trent Taylor. And Daytona State trying to pose some sort of a threat here in the 5th.
It was a well-hit ball, Drew. Outside of Nagy's hit in the first inning, best ball they've hit today.
David Mayberry's also been on base twice. An RBI base hit his first time up, then a walk. Big swing there for strike 1. Mayberry, one of those guys who just plays this game year-round. Daytona State in fall ball, of course in the spring. Also plays in the Northwoods League to develop his game during the summertime.
And a lot of these young players do that, Drew, and gives them a chance to, you know, work and develop their game and get seen by other people and just grow as a young baseball player.
Ball gets away, and heading to third base. Good heads-up play by Taylor.
Real good heads-up play there, Drew. Falcons don't have outs to give away, so he felt pretty comfortable with that.
Big swing by Mayberry. This one's hit hard to left field, drifting back, and it takes a bounce at the warning track and heads over the fence. So this is going to be a ground rule double for David Mayberry, and Daytona State not going down without a fight here.
No, and that's kind of the makeup of this team. David got a good swing on that ball. I think it got a little in on his hands. He didn't get quite enough of the barrel to it, but still very well hit ball. Bounced over for the ground rule double.
Alan Burnsett now for the Falcons. Watches one just high. So Falcons putting Grant Sandberg here, third pitcher we've seen for Seminole State, on notice.
Pitch at the letters. Tell you, Coach Nicholson, all he wants this young man to do is throw strikes at this point.
Oh, big pitch there. Swinging his Burnsett for strike 2.
Good location and on his hands in the strike zone.
Couple walks today for Alan Burnsett, not been able to make contact. Good chance here with Mayberry in scoring position, and pulling the string on that one is Grant Sandberg. Just a gorgeous pitch.
Quality breaking ball that just kind of froze him and got the strikeout. Right on the inside corner. Really nice pitch.
Beautifully done. And another pop-up Anthony Perino was the pinch hitter. And this one going to be taken care of in left field by Scott Ficus.
So that does it. Drew, the run rule's in effect. 10 runs or more after 5 innings. And Seminole earned the win.
Daytona State unable to get the necessary runs in the 5th to stay alive. They did show some good fight will late, but Seminole State had a good outing from Ethan Kohler and a 12-run explosion in the first inning that really set the tempo, didn't it?
Yeah, just a great exhibition by the Raiders coming out and scoring those 12 runs. They had quality at bats, worked the count, swung at pitches that they could do something with, and then when they got on defense, Kohler just was a handful the innings that he was in there, and just a great all-around performance by Seminole State's Raiders today, and earned the Mid-Florida Conference win. And Daytona will have to live to win another day, because today was not the day for the Falcons.
Zach Wilson swinging a mean stick for Seminole State. Had the big home run. Kobe Barnum outstanding as well. And Jake Wright with a grand slam for the Raiders to really separate. Jack Nagy had a triple in the first inning for Daytona State. One of the bright spots for sure, but simply not nearly enough against a Seminole State lineup today that was pretty much just on fire. Well, hope you enjoyed it. Will, it was certainly fun, even in defeat. Daytona State baseball, so much fun to be a part of.
Yeah, looking forward to many more games the rest of the spring, and then we have another baseball game on WDSC TV against St. John's River in a couple weeks, and look forward to that as well.
We will see you for that. Hope you enjoyed it for our fabulous crew here at Daytona State College. We will see you very soon. For Will Dunn, I'm Drew Felios. Take care. Have a great week. Seminole State victorious over your Daytona State Falcons.